You know what? I've already upgraded to someone better, Claire said, laughing as she gestured toward the man standing behind her at my family's Thanksgiving dinner. The room froze. 23 people, mid-bite, mid-conversation, stopped moving. I looked at the engagement ring on her finger, the one I'd spent 3 months' salary on, then at her smug expression, then at the guy she'd brought into my parents' home without asking. Give me the ring back, I said quietly. Her smile faltered. What? The ring. Give it back. I was 27, engaged for 8 months to a woman I thought I'd spend my life with. We'd been together 3 years. She was beautiful, charismatic, the kind of person who lit up every room she entered. Everyone loved Claire. My mom adored her. My sister called her the best thing that ever happened to me. But standing in my parents' dining room, watching her laugh about upgrading from me, I realized something. I'd been too afraid to see what was right in front of me all along. You're being dramatic, Claire said, her voice dripping with condescension. It's just dinner. No, I said. It's disrespect. And I'm done with it. The guy behind her, tall, gym-built, wearing a shirt 2 sizes too small, shifted uncomfortably. He cleared his throat. Look, man, I didn't know this was. Not talking to you. I interrupted, keeping my eyes on Claire. The ring. Now. My dad stood up from the head of the table. My mom put her hand on his arm, stopping him. She knew. She'd known for months that something was off. Claire's face went red. You're making a scene. You brought another man to my family's holiday dinner and announced you upgraded from me. I'm not the one making the scene. She tried to laugh it off, looking around the room for support. My aunt avoided eye contact. My cousin's wife pretended to be very interested in her mashed potatoes. Even my sister, who defended Claire through every argument we'd had, just stared at her plate. This is ridiculous, Claire said. We can talk about this later. No, we're done talking. Ring. Now. She twisted it on her finger, her confidence crumbling. You gave this to me. It's mine. It was a promise. You just broke that promise in front of everyone I love. So either you take it off, or I call the police and report it as stolen property. I wasn't bluffing. The ring was still under my insurance policy. I had the receipt. Legally, it was mine until we were married. The room was so quiet I could hear the grandfather clock ticking in the hallway. Finally, Claire yanked the ring off and slammed it on the table. Fine. Have your stupid ring. I didn't want to marry you anyway. Then why'd you say yes? She opened her mouth, then closed it. For the first time since I'd known her, Claire had nothing to say. I picked up the ring, slipped it into my pocket, and looked at the gym guy. You can have her. Good luck with that. Then I walked out of the dining room, grabbed my jacket from the front closet, and left my parents' house. I sat in my car for 20 minutes before my phone started blowing up. My sister, holy shit. Are you okay? My mom, come back inside when you're ready. We saved you a plate. My cousin David, dude. That was the most badass thing I've ever seen. Even my grandma texted, which she almost never did. Good boy. She wasn't right for you. But the one that surprised me most was from my brother-in-law. Check Claire's Instagram. I opened the app. Claire had already posted a story, a photo of her and gym guy at some bar, caption reading, "Thankful for fresh starts and people who actually appreciate me." Posted 12 minutes ago. She'd left my parents' house and gone straight to a bar to celebrate. I stared at that post for a long time, trying to feel something. Anger, sadness, betrayal. But all I felt was tired. The truth was, I'd seen the signs for months. I just didn't want to admit it. It started small. She'd begun working late more often, coming home after I was already asleep. She stopped asking about my day, stopped laughing at my jokes, started treating every conversation like an inconvenience. I told myself it was stress. She'd gotten promoted at work, senior marketing manager at a tech startup. More responsibility, longer hours. It made sense that she'd be distracted. But then came the phone call she'd take in the other room. The text she'd angle away from me when we watched TV. The weekend, work conference, she forgot to mention until the day before. My sister noticed first. She talks to you like you're her assistant, not her fiancée, she said one night after dinner at my place. I defended Claire. She's just focused on her career right now. My sister had given me this look, sad and knowing, and changed the subject. Then came the gym membership. Claire had never been into fitness. Suddenly, she was going every morning at 5 a.m., sometimes twice a day. She bought new workout clothes, started meal prepping, posted gym selfies on Instagram. I was happy for her. I told her she looked great. I suggested we work out together. I need this time for myself, she'd said. Don't make it weird. So I didn't. I gave her space. I supported her self-improvement journey. I ignored the fact that she started wearing makeup to the gym and coming home glowing in a way that had nothing to do with endorphins. And I definitely ignored the fact that she'd started mentioning her trainer in every other sentence. Trevor. That was his name. The guy standing in my parents' dining room. Trevor says I need more protein. Trevor thinks I have great form. Trevor's teaching me about supplement stacks. I'd met him once, briefly, when I picked Claire up from the gym. He was exactly what you'd picture. Tank top, visible abs, that specific kind of confidence that comes from looking in mirrors all day. Your girl's killing it, he'd said, clapping me on the shoulder. She's got real dedication. I'd thanked him and driven Claire home. She'd been quiet the whole ride, texting someone with a small smile on her face. 2 months before Thanksgiving, Claire started bringing up problems in our relationship. We don't have anything in common anymore, she said one night. We were watching a movie, something she'd picked. I paused it. What do you mean? I'm growing. Changing. You're just staying the same. I'm working on my career too, I said. I just got promoted to assistant manager at a bank, she interrupted. That's not the same as what I'm doing. I was an assistant manager at a regional credit union. Good job, good benefits, good people. I liked it. I was proud of it. But Claire had started making it sound like I worked at a gas station. What do you want me to do? I asked. I don't know. Be more ambitious. More exciting. More like Trevor? She'd gone very still. This isn't about Trevor, isn't it? You're being paranoid. Maybe I was. But paranoia and intuition look the same until you find out which one you were listening to. The Thanksgiving disaster had been brewing for weeks. Claire insisted on hosting. My parents always hosted. 30-year tradition. But Claire wanted to do something different. My mom, ever accommodating, suggested we combine families. We'll do it at our place, but Claire can help cook. Make it a joint thing. Claire had agreed, but she seemed distracted the whole week leading up to it. She kept checking her phone, smiling at texts, making plans she wouldn't tell me about. The morning of Thanksgiving, she'd been in the bathroom for 2 hours getting ready. It's just my family, I'd said through the door. I want to look good. You always look good. Not like this. When she finally came out, I understood. Hair done professionally, makeup perfect, wearing a dress I'd never seen before. Tight, red, expensive looking. Wow, I said. You look incredible, but maybe a little much for turkey dinner. She'd given me that look, the one that made me feel small. Maybe you should try harder to keep up. We'd driven to my parents' house in silence. Everything had been fine for the first hour. Claire laughed with my mom, complimented my aunt's pie, played with my cousin's kids. She was charming. She was perfect. Then the doorbell rang. I'll get it. Claire jumped up before anyone else could move. She came back with Trevor. Everyone, this is Trevor, she announced brightly. My trainer. He didn't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving, so I invited him. Hope that's okay. My mom, polite to a fault, smiled and said of course it was fine. My dad shot me a questioning look. I shrugged. What was I supposed to do? Trevor sat next to Claire. Not across from her, not at the other end of the table. Next to her, close enough that their shoulders touched. And Claire let it happen. She served him food first, laughed at his stories, touched his arm when she talked, completely ignored me, her actual fiancé, sitting 3 seats down. My sister kicked me under the table. I ignored it. My cousin whispered something to his wife. She shook her head. My grandma, legally blind but sharp as ever, called out. Claire, honey, is there something you want to tell us? That's when Claire's mask slipped. Actually, she said, setting down her fork with a sharp clink. I do. I've been thinking a lot about my future lately, about what I really want, and I've realized that I've outgrown certain situations. She didn't look at me when she said it. What situations? My mom asked carefully. Settling situations, Claire said. Being with someone because it's comfortable, not because it's right. My dad's jaw tightened. Claire, I said quietly. What are you doing? I'm being honest, she said. For the first time in months. And honestly, I've already upgraded to someone better. She gestured at Trevor like he was a prize she'd won. That's when something in me just clicked off. I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I was done. Standing there in my parents' dining room, holding that ring, I felt lighter than I had in months. I drove to my apartment, the one I'd been planning to leave once Claire and I got married. She'd been pushing me to move into her place, which made sense. It was bigger, nicer, closer to her work. But something had always stopped me from pulling the trigger on giving up my lease. Now I was grateful I'd listened to that instinct. I spent Thanksgiving night eating leftover pizza and watching basketball. My phone kept buzzing, but I ignored it. Around midnight, someone knocked on my door. It was my sister. She was holding a Tupperware container full of turkey and stuffing. "Mom sent this," she said, pushing past me into the apartment. "And I came to make sure you're okay." "I'm fine. You just called off your engagement in front of the entire family." "She called it off," I corrected. "I just made it official." My sister sat down on my couch, studying me. "You don't seem upset." "I'm relieved." "Really?" I sat down next to her. "I think I've been waiting for an excuse to end it for months. I just didn't want to be the bad guy." "She was cheating on you." "Yeah." "You knew?" "I suspected. Didn't want to admit it." My sister was quiet for a moment. "Trevor left like 10 minutes after you did." Claire had a complete meltdown, crying, screaming, saying you embarrassed her. "She embarrassed herself." Mom asked her to leave. Dad drove her home. He said she cried the whole way and kept saying it was a joke, that she didn't mean it. "She meant it," I said. "She just didn't expect me to actually do anything about it." That was the truth of it. Claire had gotten so comfortable with me accepting whatever she did that she thought she could humiliate me publicly and I'd just take it. She thought I was safe, predictable, soft. Maybe I was, but I wasn't spineless. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls and 89 text messages. Most were from Claire. "We need to talk. You overreacted. I was just trying to make you jealous. Trevor means nothing to me. Please call me. I love you. You're throwing away 3 years over one mistake." I deleted them all and blocked her number. Then I called my insurance company and removed her from my car insurance, my health insurance, and reported the engagement ring as recovered stolen property just to have the documentation. I changed my Netflix password, my Hulu password, my HBO Max password. I went through every shared subscription and shut her out. It felt good. By noon, my phone rang from an unknown number. I answered. "This is petty and childish," Claire said immediately. "So, is bringing your affair partner to my family's Thanksgiving dinner?" "It wasn't an affair. We just trained together." "Claire, you told everyone you upgraded from me." To his face. "What do you think that means?" She was quiet. "Did you sleep with him?" I asked. It's not what you think." "Did you sleep with him?" "Once," she whispered. "It was a mistake. It didn't mean anything." I hung up. She called back 17 times. I didn't answer. The following Monday, I went to work like normal. My boss, a woman in her 50s who I'd always respected, called me into her office. "I heard about your engagement," she said. "I'm sorry. Small town. Word travels fast." "I'm okay," I said. "Are you?" She studied me. "Because I've been through a breakup like this. And I know how much it hurts, even when you know it's the right thing." "I'm angry," I admitted. "But I'm also relieved." "Does that make sense?" "Perfect sense," she said. "She wasted 3 years of your life. You're allowed to be angry about that." I'd never thought of it that way. 3 years. 3 years of supporting her, trusting her, planning a future that she'd already decided she didn't want. "Take the week off," my boss said. "Paid. Get your head straight." I almost argued, but then I realized why. Why keep pushing through? Why keep being the person who never asks for anything? "Thank you," I said. I spent that week doing things I'd forgotten I liked. I went hiking. I played video games for 8 hours straight without feeling guilty. I called old friends I'd lost touch with because Claire always had plans. One friend, Danny, invited me to a hockey game. We'd been best friends in college, but Claire had never liked him. "He's immature," she'd said. "You're too old for that frat boy energy." Danny was a doctor, literal brain surgeon. But Claire had decided he was immature because he made jokes and liked sports. Sitting at that hockey game, drinking overpriced beer and yelling at refs, I realized how much of myself I'd given up to make Claire happy. "She really brought another dude to your family dinner?" Danny asked during intermission. "Yep." "And announced she upgraded from you?" "Yep." "Bro," Danny said, shaking his head. "That's genuinely insane." "I know. You dodged a nuke." He was right. If I'd married her, this would have been a divorce. Lawyers, splitting assets, maybe kids involved. Now it was just a broken engagement and some return gifts. "You seem good though," Danny said. "Better than I expected." "I feel good," I said. And I meant it. By the second week, Claire had gotten desperate. She started showing up places I went. The gym I'd just joined, not her gym, thankfully. The coffee shop near my apartment. The grocery store. "We need closure," she said, cornering me in the produce section. "You can't just cut me out like this." "I can't actually. That's how breakups work." 3 years, she said, tears streaming down her face. 3 years, and you won't even talk to me. You talked plenty at Thanksgiving. I heard everything I needed to hear. I was confused. Trevor was a distraction. I was scared of commitment. So you humiliated me in front of my entire family? I didn't mean to. Yes, you did, I interrupted. You meant every word. You just didn't expect consequences. A woman passing by with a shopping cart slowed down, blatantly eavesdropping. Claire noticed and lowered her voice. Everyone makes mistakes, she hissed. And everyone faces consequences. This is yours. I walked away. She followed me. I'll change, she called after me. I'll stop training with Trevor. I'll quit my job. I'll do whatever you want. I stopped and turned around. Claire, I don't want you to change. I want you to leave me alone. You're being cruel. I'm being clear. There's a difference. Security had to escort her out of the store. I finished my shopping in peace. That night, my mom called. Claire's mother contacted me, she said. She's very upset. She says you're refusing to communicate. I have nothing to say to Claire. She's saying you blindsided her. That she didn't know you were this unhappy. Mom, she brought another man to Thanksgiving dinner and said she upgraded from me. What part of that suggests she thought I was happy? My mom sighed. You're right. I just wanted to check on you. Make sure you're okay. I'm better than okay, I said. I'm free. Christmas came and went. Claire sent gifts to my parents' house. Expensive ones, with handwritten notes about how much she missed being part of the family. My mom, bless her, sent them all back with a polite note. Thank you, but we think it's best if we don't accept these. Claire showed up to our church's Christmas Eve service. Sat 3 rows behind my family. Cried loudly during every hymn. My sister leaned over and whispered, "She's putting on a show. Let her," I whispered back. After the service, Claire tried to approach me in the parking lot. My dad, quiet and gentle man that he was, stepped between us. "I think you should go home, Claire," he said firmly. "I just want to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to you. You need to respect that." Claire looked at me over my dad's shoulder, mascara running, desperate. "Please. I miss you. I miss us." "There is no us," I said. "There hasn't been for a long time. You just didn't notice because I was convenient." "That's not true." "It is," I said. "And deep down, you know it. You didn't love me. You loved having someone who asked for nothing and gave you everything." She opened her mouth to argue, but nothing came out. "Go home, Claire," I said. "Move on." "I have." That was the last time I saw her. 3 months later, I heard through mutual friends that she and Trevor had started officially dating. 2 months after that, they broke up. Apparently, he'd been seeing someone else the entire time. I didn't feel satisfaction hearing that. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt nothing. That's how I knew I was really over it. A year after that Thanksgiving dinner, I was sitting in the same dining room with my family, eating turkey and laughing at my cousin's terrible jokes. My sister nudged me. "You seem happy." "I am." "Dating anyone?" "Not yet," I said. "But I'm not in a hurry." "Good," she said. "Next time, find someone who treats you like a partner, not a placeholder." "Trust me," I said. "I will." I'd learned a lot in that year. About myself, about relationships, about what I was willing to accept. I'd learned that walking away from someone you love is sometimes the most self-respecting thing you can do. I'd learned that closure doesn't always come from conversation. Sometimes it comes from choosing yourself. And I'd learned that the moment someone shows you who they really are, believe them the first time. Claire had shown me everything I needed to know in that one sentence. I've already upgraded to someone better. The truth was, she had upgraded. Not to Trevor. Not to anyone else. She'd upgraded from someone who loved her to someone who finally loved himself more. And honestly, that was the best upgrade either of us could have asked for. Sometimes the trash takes itself out. And sometimes, it announces it loudly at Thanksgiving dinner in front of everyone you love. Either way, you let it go and never look back.